It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All the sports news you need every day in under 20 minutes. Follow Locked On today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. You are Locked On NC State, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Wolfpack fans. It's me again, Kenton Gibbs, bringing you another episode of Locked On Wolfpack. And ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by the great folks over at rockauto.com. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. Visit and write Locked On in the How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Now, I want to talk about some quotes that have come out of camp so far. And I just want to discuss those as far as football goes. Also, just to be aware here, what's going on with basketball recruiting? I believe we'll have Matt Coe on in a little bit to talk about that. But there seems to be some very disappointing news coming out of basketball recruiting coming here pretty soon. But who knows? I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. Hopefully I'm wrong here. But we're going to talk about some quotes that have come out of fall camp. Number one, the first one, and y'all know what I'm going to say right here. Isaiah Moore saying we were 8-4 last year, but that was never the goal. 8 wins is not the goal here. Ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all all along that the floor of 8 is That's a floor. That's if something goes catastrophically wrong. That's if we have serious injuries to big-time players. Anything beyond that, we need to creep into that double-digit territory. We need to. It isn't a ifs, ands, or buts about, we might want to, it may be we could sneak in. I'm telling you flat out, every time I look at this schedule, and I'm just talking all group of 5 or FCS teams here. You've got 1, 2, 3 off the back. You've got 3 group of 5 teams off the back. So at that point, what you're saying is you need 5 conference wins. And if you can get a win off Mississippi State, that'd be great as well. Well, if you look at a Mississippi State, if you look at what they did last year, there isn't much room to say, well, this is a team that it makes sense that we'll just get the wheels whooped off us by. Make no bones about this now. This Mississippi State team, they happened to just barely get over the hump and get to a bowl game in 2019 and got beat up on by Louisville in that bowl game, 38-28. Last year, they beat Tulsa in the bowl game, but they were 3-7 on the regular season, I want to say. Yeah, I left that silence there on purpose. They were 3-7 last year. Just take a second and think about that now. And even if you say, well, they were 3-7 because they lost to all these teams in the SEC, and the SEC is just such powerhouses, and their schedule was just a tough time. They scored 2 points against Kentucky. 2 points. Two. Oh, okay, that's not bad enough. 10 points against Auburn. Huh? 10 points against Auburn. Listen, I have not told y'all a lie yet, and I ain't gonna start no time soon. I'm not gonna start telling y'all, we should be national champs every year. No, I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you some type of lie that we're just the dominant team that should be whooping the wheels off everybody in our path. But this team could barely put up. I want to say they put up 24 on Ole Miss in a loss. They lost 31-24. Now, here's the funny thing about that Ole Miss team. They play, of course, just like most other teams last year, they played a predominantly all-conference schedule for the most part. Now, during the regular season, they allowed 24 or less twice. I'm sorry, only once actually. They did it at Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and if you include the bowl game, Indiana, so 3 times. Again, Lane Kiffin can coach up an offense with the best of them. If you need him to put points all over the board, he can do that with the best of them. That man is no defensive guru. Nobody will accuse him of being such. So that has to be a game that you look at and you're like, you got to win that one. You got to win that one. You can't just there's no way you could look at me and say, oh, well, it makes sense that we lose that game. No, that does not make sense. It doesn't. And don't try to make it make sense because we should beat that team. And then when you go beyond that, so now you're up to 4. When you go beyond that, you look at our conference schedule. The only task that seems too tall to get over, there's no way around it. You're going to have to play the game of your life to win it. Clemson. That's it. We've already talked about what these teams are and are not, but I'm just excited to hear our linebackers backing that up. I'm excited to hear the players saying, 8 is not it. 8 is not it. We have to get to double digits. We have to get there. The quote goes on to also say, with Drake Thomas and Peyton Wilson and that whole group of guys, I said it a couple years ago, in 3 years we could be really good. I'm sorry, that's a quote from Doran. And we have a chance to be really good. We just have to go earn it. I've already said this now. I've already said this. Everything is aligned. All of the stars are in line for a great season. For a great season. Not a good season, a great season, but we have to go get it at this point. We have to go get it. We have to go make that happen. Because it's a flatly, this is a season that, like I've said many times, we're not going to see a year where we have all these guys back at once. We're not going to see it again. And yes, we have some things going on already as far as Emeka being out. Emeka Emezi, we don't know what's going on with him. Some people are speculating hamstring. Some said that he was in a boot recently, and you don't get put in a boot for a hamstring. Trust me, I think that I played enough football to know that much. You don't have to be in a boot for a hamstring. So who knows what's going on there. But even beyond Emeka, we still have a very good, very capable receiving core. We still have a quarterback that can push the ball downfield wherever it needs to go. So, I mean, all in all, I'm looking at this situation and I'm saying to myself, we'll be all right. We will be A-okay. And that's just, that to me is a situation where I'm looking at this team, and if the players are agreeing that 8 wins is not enough, I think we all know what has to happen. We all know what type of winning has to happen here. We all know that. So it's exciting to know. It's exciting to know that that's where we're at as a team, that's what we're looking at as a unit, as a fan base. We can look forward to a season where the players know just as well as we do. 8 is not the goal. Where double digits has to be the goal. Where ACC championships, competing for the ACC championships has to be the goal. Everybody's picking us to finish second in the Atlantic. We have to do it. We have to. Again, all respect to Hafley and what he's doing over at Boston College. I hope that what's the name figures it out over at Florida State. What's the guy's name? Norvell figures it out at Florida State. Because again, I want the conference to be strong as a whole. I don't want a situation where people are looking at us like, oh, you won 10 games? Well, all the teams all the historic powers that you beat were just god awful, except Clemson. And Clemson ain't even really a historic power. They're a very recent team. I don't want that to be the case. And also with what we're seeing with conferences being siphoned off and whatnot, hey, who knows now? We need some good football. We need some games that's going to generate some ratings. So it'd really be a good deal if we saw the situation where we're looking at a 10-win season. You know what I mean? Like that's just where I'm going with this, and this has to happen this year. Again, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around that. This has to happen this year. And like I've already told you all about, the under-over on the win total for this year is 6. please go to betonline.ag, take that bet, take everything you got, put the house on it, and go get you some money. Go get you some money off that over 6. Go get some money off that because it's available and it's there for you. BetOnline.ag is always trying to give away money. And let me tell you something. It is the fastest and easiest way to do all of your online betting. Go to betonline.ag to find all of the latest news and info and odds for whatever betting needs that you may have. With all of the seasons about to come back, with everybody in camp, with basketball in summer league, with baseball entering their most crucial part of the season and heading into playoff contentions, it is time for you to head to betonline.ag today. I am telling you, there is no place that you're going to find too many better promotions and contest information and all stats and info than you will at betonline.ag. Go sign up today, and you will get a welcome bonus of 50% on your first deposit. Whatever you put up, they will put up 50% to match it. You cannot beat free with a stick, and guess what? That is free money. So go to betonline.ag today, sign up, and again, when their promo code box comes up, use Locked On so they know we sent you. Again, go to betonline.ag, use promo code Locked On so they know we sent you.
What's up, everybody? Candace Cooper here from Locked On ACC, and let me tell you about Sonos, the official sponsor of ESPN College Football. Experience the game like never before with Sonos Arc, the premium smart sound bar for movies, TV, music, gaming, and more. The precise and immersive sound of Dolby Atmos will make you feel like you are in the stadium. When the TV is off, stream music, Locked On ACC podcasts, or even audiobooks when using Sonos app, Apple AirPlay 2, or your voice with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant. Sonos works with all your streaming services, plus you can listen to thousands of stations free on Sonos Radio. Tune into the local stations, relax with your favorite genres, hear what world-renowned artists are loving, and discover new music. Arc was designed from the inside out for incredibly clear sound and rich bass, then fine-tuned by Oscar and Grammy-winning producers, mixers, and artists. True Play tuning software further enhances your listening experience by optimizing Arc's sound for the unique acoustics of the room. Don't wait any longer to get one of the best sound systems in the game. Go to Sonos.com to learn more.
So, again, I was talking about the situation as far as Isaiah Moore saying 8 wins aren't enough. Some other NC State camp quotes are on the way, but man, it's hard. It's really, really hard to get away from that one. It really is. It really is, because the expectation, the fact that these guys are knowing what's going on, it's the fact that these guys are acknowledging we have historically been, we're a little better than mediocre, and that's it. That to me, when you acknowledge that, when you know that that's what's going on, oh man, you gotta have that. You gotta have that, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And also, a few of the coaching polls came out, or a few of the top 25 polls came out today, and NC State was just on the outside looking in on most of the top 25 polls. As far as the preseason USA Today coaches poll, we were in the others receiving votes category, which would technically put us at number 35 in a tie with Boise State. Let me tell you why this is a good thing for us. The fact of the matter is, the 3 teams that are ranked in the ACC, Clemson at number 2, University of No Consequences at 9, Miami at 16. Again, I have no doubts in my mind that all 3 of those teams are beatable. Even Clemson. Everybody is just assuming that DJ Uiagalelei is going to take this giant step and be dominant because he looked good last year and all that. I've already talked about the fact that his leading receiver over the games that he started reception-wise in Travis Etienne is gone. I've already talked about the fact that while Booth is probably going to be the first or second, Stingley is maybe first as well. But anyway, while he'll be one of the top 2, at worst 3 corners taken in the draft, next year. And while they have 5-star talent on 5-star talent on 5-star talent, it is not unheard of for a team like that to roll through its early part of its schedule and then just kind of go to sleep on one of their conference opponents that they've historically whooped on. I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's not unheard of. And even if it's not a situation where they kind of go to sleep, you look at the rest of their schedule, right? They got UGA first game. If they win that game, then the starters will be resting by the end of the first half when they play South Carolina State. And then they've got Georgia Tech, another team that honestly they're probably going to whoop the wheels off of by a mile. And that would be an ideal situation because, yes, confidence is like, a team having confidence in knowing their direction and knowing that they're fine. That's good. But with young guys especially, you can catch yourself in situations of overconfidence. You can catch them in situations of, oh, man, we just, everybody said Georgia was the guys, we beat them. And then we done whooped these last 3 teams by 70 points each. Y'all telling us about NC State. They ain't never, boom. You catch them slipping one good time, and now you in the money as far as that goes as well. So I'm just saying we're not looking at a situation where any of those teams are unbeatable. And yes, all 3 of them are on NC State's schedule. But again, you look at Miami, the guy who put on the show, the guy who won them the game last year is coming off an ACL tear. And then you look at the University of No Consequences, they're bringing back their quarterback, and that's it. That's it. All of their top receivers, gone. All of their top rushers, gone. All of them. All of them in the league now. So, and I've already talked about this. Certain teams reload. There are a few teams in the country that reload. For the most part, most teams, if you have a really good year with a ton of really good players and a ton of guys get drafted, you're going to be on a rebuild. And they're one of those teams. They're one of those teams that this year is going to be a rebuild for them. So I'm saying all this to say we are in an excellent spot being at number 35 because there's a lot of room to grow. But also, we know that we don't have the national respect that certain programs do. So even if there is a case of like, oh, we lost to Clemson and it looked bad, but we've beat up on everybody else, we're still not going to be ranked as high as we should. We're still not going to be ranked as high as certain other teams if they did the exact same thing. And I think that everybody's aware and conscious of that. So focus on yourself, focus on being the best you, focus on winning as many games as we can as a team. And that's what's going to put us in the best situation to get what we want to get as far as national notoriety and all that. It is all there in front of us at the end of the day. It is all there in front of us as far as what we're looking at for that. You look at the coastal schedule, or you look at the conference schedule, rather, for the University of No Consequences, and they got it made. They got it. It is as good can be for the most part. There is not any games on that schedule where I'm like, oh, man, that one's going to be tough. It's not a single one except Notre Dame. And I'm like, oh, wow. Y'all got it. Y'all going to have a real tall task on your hands. Other than that, every game, for the most part, I'm pretty sure they'll be favored in all these. I'm pretty sure they'll be favored in all of them. So, to me, that's another game where that team could be extremely overconfident. Extremely. If that team beats Notre Dame, oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. You will not hear the end. If they are undefeated coming into that game, I am telling you right now, that will be as confident of a confident team as we have ever seen. And they're going to play the whole, y'all aren't actually our rivals thing. And that is, great times. But at the end of the day, this is about us. This isn't about other teams and what they do. Again, if we stay healthy, if we do what we have to do, take care of what we have to get taken care of, I cannot see a world where we don't win at least one of those 3 games. I really don't. And even if there was a possibility where we lose all 3, you're still looking at a bowl game that could get you to 10. I mean, that's just, to me, it is a very clear, it is a very easy indicator of what this team is going to be, as far as if you look at all of the games on ESPN.com right now, right? Of our 12 games, we are favored in literally each and every one of them, except for we're not favored against Boston College, University of No Consequences, Clemson, and Miami. That's it. Those are only 4 games that we're not favored in, and that puts us at exactly 8. And then you get one in the bowl game, that's 9. But I'm telling you, again, you're counting on losing each and every one of those 4. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Of course, the preseason predictions and game cast and all that is going to read one thing. The reality is always a little different. The reality is always a little different than what it's a reason you play the games. It's a reason you play the games. According to the ESPN Football Power Index, we're also underdogs at Florida State, apparently. Yeah. Interesting. But anywho, that just goes to further my point that at the end of the day, the national respect that we want is there. It's available for us. It's available for us to get. We are not at a level where it's like, all right, this is who we are, and there's nothing we can do to build our brand besides win a national championship. No, that is absolutely not where we are. There's plenty of room to build. There's plenty of room to grow it. So let's go out there and do it this season. It'd be a really, really great thing to see. And another thing that's great to see is the prices at rockauto.com. With the ever-increasing number of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. So why endure the often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning about your vehicle and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing only the brand that their warehouse happens to carry? You have access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket, and anywhere that you're listening to this, you probably have it there as well. Save time and money when using rockauto.com. Don't choose to spend 30 or 50 or even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or a car dealership. Rock Auto is a family business serving DIY folks and professionals for over 20 years, and the prices are always reliably low for every customer. So go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts they have available for your car or truck. Right, locked on in the How Did You Hear About Us box so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices. All the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com.
I'm Kevin Ostreicher, host of the Locked On Ravens podcast, and attention shoppers. We now have taste in the bread aisle, Dave's Killer Bread. That's right, an organic bread that doesn't need 3 spoonfuls of sriracha jam to delight your taste buds. Dave's Killer Bread is a 21-grain salute to the end of boring bread. A brand on a mission to make the most of every loaf, to rid the world of GMOs and artificial ingredients, and plant the seeds of good in all that they bake. But Dave's Killer Bread has done more than raise the bar on bread. In fact, Dave's Killer Bread was built on the belief that second chances can change lives when its founder Dave, the guy with a guitar you see on every loaf, returned to the family bakery after 15 years in prison. Dave took that chance and ended up creating what would become the country's #1 organic bread while never forgetting his not-so-easy path. That's why at Dave's Killer Bread, they proudly practice second chance employment, hiring the best person for the job, regardless of criminal background. And by the taste of it, things have worked out rather well. Dave's Killer Bread. Bread amplified.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to land this thing, but the fact of the matter is simple. The respect that we're looking for, it's in front of us. The fact of the matter is, there are a lot of polls or whatnot that we're going to be on the outside of the top 25, and that's fine. That's fine. But we got to go ahead and figure that out and get the wins that we need to get in order to advance, in order to move forward, in order to get the national respect. Is 1 year going to turn the tide? Of course not. Of course not. But 1 year can start it. 1 year can start the situation of where we're looking at being ranked in top 25 polls. That's 1 year can start it, okay? Because you go from there and then you just build on it, you build on it, you build on it. It's possible. There's no questions about there's no way that we could possibly sneak in there. There is no way. No way, all right? So at the end of the day, if Isaiah Moore and what he said about 8 wins aren't enough, if that comes true, if they find a way to pull out 9 to 10, really to me 10 is the number that's ideal. I absolutely think that we should be looking at some more national respect because, again, even if you lose every game that you're like, oh, man, that team is really, really, really good. Even if you lose to the highest ranked teams on our schedule, you're still looking at a loss to Clemson, a loss to University of No Consequences, but wins over Boston College and Miami. So there's that. And a win over Mississippi State, which, while it shouldn't mean much, it's the SEC and it just means more. So that's just my thoughts on that. Thank you all so very much for coming out. I will be bringing back episodes on a daily. I appreciate y'all for coming out. The numbers keep going up because you all keep supporting. I appreciate it. Let's keep this thing rolling. Peace and love, y'all. And as always, go Pack.
You are Locked On NC State, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Have you ever listened to a podcast like this one and you wanted to bring up your own point or just chat with other people that are listening at the same time? Well, let me tell you about Spotify Green Room. This is the first social audio platform made just for sports fans. The app is free to download, and once you're in, you can talk with us, other fans, athletes, insiders in real time about your favorite sport or team. Download the app, currently available on iOS devices. Create a profile, link your Twitter, join one of the groups for the latest league updates, and then you'll see us there. Spotify Green Room, changing the way we talk sports.